Hello, my name is Oscar, and this is my short story response presentation. I will be talking about A Clean Related Place by Ernest Hemingway and Suicide Solution by Ozzy Osbourne, and as the relationship that I find between the two of them. I think that A Clean Lighted Place it is suited in a dark setting because obviously it takes place during the night, but also it takes us through this existential, very important questions about the importance or maybe even the meaning of life. I can sense an uniqueness through the whole story at the beginning with the young waiter. The young waiter being very uneasy about him need to go home, and once both of them get to close the establishment and part their ways, then it comes the mental breakdown from the older waiter, uh, which is another moment of distress in the story. So I think this whole story it's uneasy, it's distressful. I think the main point of this story is accepting the futility of our existence, finding a coping mechanism and embrace it. I agree that it is also a story about maybe the stages of life, maybe embracing loneliness. But if you see from a different perspective, and this is where my point will be, I used took this little like a fragment from the story. What did he fear? It was not a fear or dread. It was a nothing that he knew too well. It was all nothing, and a man was a nothing too. It was only that, and life was all it needed and a certain cleanness and order. Some lived in it and never felt it, but he knew it was all nada and pues nada. So I highlighted this part. It was a nothing that he knew too well. Maybe this mental breakdown, it's a recurring thing. Maybe he has already been thinking, the old waiter, that life has no meaning. Uh, Maybe he has embraced this nihilistic perspective of life that we are alone, and we will die alone, and this causes him, he cannot cope with that, so he comes with coping mechanisms that in this case is like light, which is also can be a metaphor. Maybe just like being outside, try to interact with people, try to like push his thoughts away. Now about Suicide Solution, it is a song by Ozzy Osbourne, and it has a surprisingly upbeat rhythm in contrast with the darkness of its lyrics. Um, Ozzy Osbourne can certainly come up with very dark settings in their songs, but for some reason they chose to have this rhythm. Anyways, this is a song about alcohol abuse and the dark places it takes people to, which I think it's a totally different main theme that A Clean Lighted Place. However, if we look to some of the lyrics, we will realize that they might be not that far apart. As you can see here, it says, I build thoughts and I build doings, cold alone, you hang in ruins. Thought that you'd escape the reaper, you can escape the master keeper. It is a very dark place. It is talking about loneliness, coldness, ruins. You cannot escape the reaper. A reaper certainly means death, probably. Death has been represented as a reaper. You cannot escape the master keeper. You cannot escape maybe void, nothing. Then you ask from your cast, is there life after birth? What you saw can mean hell on this earth, hell on the air. I think this is a play between is life actually death and vice versa. I don't know, it's very ambiguous, but then at the end, the way he finishes the song, Ozzy Osbourne, take me away, oh oh, tomorrow, it's never getting me flaps, no flats, no fox, I don't flaps, nothing. It ends with this very powerful word, nothing. which has been the constant in the analysis that we've done before about a clean, well-lighted place. I think that in conclusion, and this is something that I have been working in as I have been going through this course, is that even though these two, well, the story, Hemingway's story and Ozzy Osbourne's songs are like the main message, they're like very different from each other. If you go to the subtext, if you analyze the words and what they might mean, because at the end of the day, art is subject to interpretation, they can help each other to maybe provide a more powerful message. Uh, in this case, the message that I see is accepting the fact, according to them, of course, that there's nothing after life. It's a very nihilistic message, and maybe there's some ways to cope with it. And that's life. There's nothing we can do about it. Thank you very much. That was my presentation.